Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little premature.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody.
Extra.
Huh? Nobody. I was just trying to get the party started sooner.
You think people are really gonna watch this,
They ain't got nothing else to do.
right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she want us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, man. You ready?
Am I ready? Are they ready?
It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio. And I'm with
Your girl So Fab. Hey, y'all.
my biological sister,
What?
my little sister.
Yeah. Which one am I? I'm red. You're blue. Okay, so we don't need this one yet.
As you can see, we have a chair here. And with this chair, that will be our guest that we have coming on later.
Yes, in the 7:00 hour. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And of course, we have our entertainment news and our messy letter titled, How Do I Hold Him Accountable? We'll get to that
You
later. And also, y'all, if our audio ever sounds crazy or it's not where it needs to be, can y'all let us know? Because,
Why you
yesterday
weren't
was a
able
really
to do
good show.
anything? You weren't able to do anything with it?
What?
Huh? I told you, get ready.
Is that
I told you before we went on. I said, be ready. So
we'll check it out. We'll see. But just let us know. Y'all.
I didn't watch it because I didn't know. But yeah, at any given time, if you can't hear both of us clearly, such as this, let us know. And also, if you have any jokes about the fact that I don't have a hat on, just drop them in the comment section. Let's go ahead and get that out the way because it's that type of day. I forgot my hat.
Never mind. I'll let you be great.
I mean,
I'll let you be great. I'm not going to say anything.
today is crazy. See that?
And we have people on Instagram. Hey, Miss Verna. Hey, Tati. Tatiana Cole. She's a really dope person. If you have not heard of her, make sure you follow her. She has a really dope conference coming up in Charlotte. And we actually are going to get her on the show at some point. So
Yeah. And maybe I'll remember my hat. I need to just leave one here so I'll never have this situation again.
it's all good. Just
What
look a
is? It
little
is what it is, huh?
Cadbury-ish.
Word. And it ain't freshly shaved. That's the problem. Like I'm showing like where the hairline's supposed to be. Like when
not that bad.
you're freshly shaved, then it's just clean. But then when you can see the remnants of where your hairline's supposed to be, it's like,
Put your head
oh,
down. Let me see.
What?
Put your head down. Let me see.
No.
It's not that bad.
It's definitely on camera it don't, but that's why I got to keep my head like this. Got to keep my head like this so that now, you know what I mean? So it don't look too bad because if I go down, it's gonna be like, woo. So all day I'll be talking.
See? Tatiana said it looks good from here.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
Tatiana. I appreciate you, but I also know that you're a very nice person and wouldn't say anything to hurt somebody's feelings intentionally. Wait till those other people come on a little later in the show who will say something crazy like, "Look at his bean."
Because that's exactly what you look.
Right, like you. See how you got?
Yes, come on, Kidney Bean. We got KK. She's joining
great
us. Hey,
Northern
girl.
Bean. Now, Kay will say something crazy in a minute.
Yeah.
I wish you would.
It's all good, y'all. But yeah, so we have a full show tonight.
It's a long, when you scratch your head, it's a long way with nothing there. It's a lot of space between the middle and then when you hit that eyebrow. That's why you wear a hat, so you just do this. Because when you don't, it's like, woo. Anyway,
Shut up.
I know. I'm sorry. Because I'm mad at me for forgetting my hat when my hair is not properly shaved. Now, if my head was bald like it was when you made the meme, then that would be different. But I got the like slight George Jefferson. If I turn too far, it's like hair, like a 5 o'clock shadow on the side.
You real careful about your place,
Yeah, like I'm like, the guests come, I'm gonna just
don't move back too far. Might lose you.
Nope, because ever since that joke, I'm on the white. Ever since that meme that everybody liked. We seen a brother who holds a business right in here, and the guy who does the
custom made rugs.
So if you're interested in rugs and making those custom made rugs from like characters, whatever you think about, he does them here in Durham. I think his Instagram name is Soul something. But of all the things that he could say or talk to with my sister, hey, I seen that meme when your brother took his hat off. That was crazy.
He said y'all were funny. So I appreciate that.
But what are we laughing at? It's not like you were laughing at other people. You know what? That meme was funny. I'm the meme. Whoa. So that was crazy.
That was a proud moment for me.
And the fact that it has like second or third highest viewership on our Instagram is a problem. I try to create great content. It's like, oh, we want to laugh at you.
Yeah.
So
you gotta
now
make people laugh, but pop.
Right. So between that and being a racist in 2 days, whew, please, y'all, please help me drag these people that are coming to my page, trying to drag me. It is getting bad. Marquise, be nice. What you got? I can't read that. What'd he say?
He said, I'm mad you spray painted that piece of the wall so you don't blend in no more.
Actually, see how people talk. See, cuz that ain't even funny. This was always there. It's just I moved.
You ain't gonna talk about
right.
me.
Now, no more jokes. Now y'all go back and look. That piece was always there. It was just really what has happened, y'all, is I'm not sitting low anymore.
Right.
Like usually I drop my chair all the way down, but for whatever reason, it made me look like I was a little person. Yeah. So I figured, let me go to my height now. So that's why this is here. But if I go down, I'll be right there, right in there, and it'll mix in. Everybody got jokes. See what I'm saying?
It's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Y'all think I would really spray paint the back wall just so I didn't have those jokes? That's messed up. I didn't do that. I did not do that. Okay, let's move on.
We got birthdays. But
I can't put my head down that low. I gotta read like a big hoot cat readers. Because do you have birthdays?
I think I do. There's one person in particular that I definitely want to shout out because she's amazing and she is family to the show. But I thought there was somebody else who had a birthday too, and I feel bad. I don't want to forget. Oh yeah. We got 2 family members. You can go ahead.
Okay. Well, first up, I have Jabari Washington Foster, which is a football player that I work with. I have Miss Shania Carisha, who's celebrating her 37th. Then I have my cousin. Her stage name is Reezy Peace, celebrating her 38th. And then I was going to mention the business owner, which I'm sure that's who you were talking about too.
Yes.
Okay, you can introduce her.
Oh, Miss Angie Watts?
Yes.
Angie Watts is probably one of the dopest business owners in the Triangle area. If you are looking for the most perfect body butter that you could possibly put on your skin, she has it, and she has an array of products as well. She has stuff for men, so beard, face, all stuff like that. Head to toe, she has you covered, and she's just a really, really dope and loving soul. So,
and we got to get her back because her sound wasn't right. We were still working things out when we got here with her, and I think we're way better than what we were when we first interviewed her.
Yeah, our sound is better.
Yeah. So today's birthdays, because that's crazy.
You have more people?
No, I was gonna say today's birthday was short.
Oh, okay. All right.
I only have, including Angie, 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
So with that being said, let's go into our birthday song. Sing it with us because we sing it every day.
Hey now.
Y'all ready? Well, happy birthday to you.
And continue to live your life in a way that makes every day worth celebrating. Love the Sibs. It's us. We got to find out who did that and see if we can interview those people because we use their voice for our show every day.
Yeah.
And we don't even have a name for them. I do because I screen recorded the
Audio. Mm-hmm.
So maybe I can find them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's a church or if it's a family because it wasn't a lot of people at the table when they were singing it. So it might be family, but I would love to talk with them even about how they came up with their version of Happy Birthday because it's dope and I don't want to sing the other Happy Birthday anymore.
No, literally when it comes time to say Happy Birthday to people, I'm typically singing that one.
So we got entertainment news.
Yeah. Let's get to it.
Is it in order?
Yep.
Entertainment news with SoFab Kim. What we got?
All right, guys. So we are going to start with Quiet on the Set, the documentary that has garnished a lot of attention and a lot of backlash. So we were talking about it yesterday, and it was essentially just talking about the documentary as a whole, because it premiered this past weekend. But now that the documentary is out, and the secrets are out and people are being exposed, social media has gone crazy. Comment sections have gone crazy, so much so that some of the actors have disabled their comment section. And of course, you have the so-called quote unquote apology tour. One of them being Dan Schneider. And this is what he had. It was a clip of his interview that was almost 20 minutes long, but this is what he had to say.
Didn't show enough patience. I could be cocky and definitely overambitious and sometimes just straight up rude and obnoxious, and I am so sorry that I ever was. And all right, when I watched the show, I could see the hurt in some people's eyes, and it made me feel awful and regretful and sorry. I wish I could go back, especially to those earlier years of my career, and bring the growth and the experience that I have now and just do a better job and never, ever feel like it was okay to be an asshole to anyone ever. Look, I wanted to make funny TV shows for kids, and we definitely did that. But if I could go back, I would get it done in different ways.
That was a terrible apology.
What? Thank you. And that was going to be one of the things I asked you, since now you're kind of caught up with everything that happened with Quiet on the Set. And for those of you who are joining,
I didn't watch it yet, though.
Yeah. Who did not get in on the conversation. Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV is a documentary about Nickelodeon in the 90s, where there was a lot of toxic workplace allegations, as well as abuse, misogyny, racism, sexual assault against a minor, which, now we know is Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. Well, Dan Schneider decided to sit down and apologize and talk about the documentary. But the thing is, he decided to have and conduct this interview with the guy who was in iCarly. One of the guys that nobody's really paying attention to. He's not a journalist. He's not a reporter. He has never really even conducted an interview ever in his past, because I looked through his social media channels just to see if maybe that's where his career had led him. No. He's just an has-been actor who actually is a fan of Dan Schneider, because he later on, strokes his ego in the interview. And it's just like, oh, well, I don't want, because they talked about racism. And he was like, well, being a person of color, I never experienced that.
It's always one.
It's always one. So you're out here looking like a fake AJ from 106 in Park, and you're completely disregarding what all
But
of these
even
people
AJ
had to
was
say.
fake, because wasn't his braids fake?
No,
When we found
they
that
weren't-
out, we found that out.
They weren't fake.
They were extensions.
but and my thing is, Dan Schneider, if you really wanted to apologize, like you sincerely wanted to apologize, then you need to hold an interview with an actual creditable journalist. Why not talk to Robin Roberts? Why not go on the Today Show? You know, why not go on Tamron Hall's show?
That didn't end well for R. Kelly, and he's in R. Kelly's seat. So we're not going to do that. We got to make sure we cushion the blow, because we ain't got time for R. Kelly action against me. Really, that's the reason why.
Oh, yeah.
And for the families that were hurt, and for the people that were hurt, if you think that that was an adequate response to what you have done to people, that is terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
And I think it actually made the situation worse.
It made it so much worse, because when you do watch his interview that is on his Instagram, that is on his platform, because like I said, he intentionally did it. The interview just got released. There's so much about him talking about what he did for Nickelodeon, how he didn't know, and that when he was younger, I'm pretty sure I was cocky and I'm pretty sure I was this, but I want to apologize. But you never once individually reached out to all of those people that you affected. Instead, you decided to do this, and you decided to do with somebody who literally was there to stroke your ego. And you decided to go ahead and do this fake cry that lasted literally for 2 seconds. And then you were back to talking about yourself.
And he's not sorry. He got paid. And as I tell you before, the only way to hurt people in his position is to hurt them through their pockets.
Absolutely.
And his pockets have not been affected from this. His ability to work and to create has not been affected by this. So this is just damage control, so that things don't get bad. And I hate to say it, he has a last name that will protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And assure that things won't go too bad, because we do know that his religious background runs a lot of what Hollywood is today.
Yes.
And so without me, saying anything anti-Semitic,
please don't.
Yeah, I'm not, but we know that Hollywood has a huge shadow ran by this religious group. Because it's not a race. People try to make it a race. It's a religious group.
Mm-hmm.
And so that religious group will see to it that it doesn't go too far. And he knows that. And he knows that he's protected. So I'll put this out, and then hopefully it'll go away.
Right. And we won't talk about it.
And we won't talk about it anymore.
I put it all to rest.
Because I said what I said, and then that's it. And I'll go to create, and nobody will say anything else.
And he's not going to accept any more interviews. It's not going to happen.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that can happen is to continue to apply pressure by being more detailed about what happened. So if people now start to shut up, then yes, it will go away, unfortunately. But now that you've opened your mouth and you've all wanted to tell these tales, you can't let it go away, or he unfortunately will get away with what he did.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then the one thing that I did, and I said it before, and I'll say it again, the one thing that I do agree with him on is that when they were talking about the sketches, and he was like, oh, well, I made sketches specifically for children to laugh at. Come on, dude. Let's be honest. Like, a lot of the stuff that you did was reminiscent of cum shots and all sorts of stuff. This wasn't for kids. This is for somebody who had a sick sense of humor, and kids were only laughing because that's what they thought it was supposed to be. It was silly. It was innocence. It wasn't for kids. But he was like, if at any point, any of, my higher ups, because everybody has a boss, he had a boss, felt like it was inappropriate, they would have shot it down. And I mean, I can't blame him for that. But the thing is, he was making Nickelodeon a lot of money. They were getting a lot of ratings. Nickelodeon was ruling all because of what it is that he produced. So why would they even bother shooting anything down if they're going to go for it?
They gave him the power. And it's not now. You can get away with it now, but it's a lot harder.
Right.
At that time, that's the 90s and all that stuff. People were still using flip phones and all that, and having to type AAA, BB, CCC, DD for text messages. So the flow of it, we were still using landlines when that stuff was hot. So by the time you wanted to email somebody and had to wait for AOL to load, it was like, never mind. I'm just saying times are different at this point in time. And I'm not saying, why did you say anything? I'm just saying, if you do say something to all the victims and the victims' families, don't stop pushing the envelope of saying that we need to bring some form of justice or whatever can be justice to the situation. Do not just shut up, or why did you bring it up?
Well, this is one thing that Dan Schneider decided to say that he feels should happen. He said that he feels as though therapists should be on the set to be able to help kids and be an advocate for them. I'm like, you're just saying all the right things, aren't you? Aren't you? Because if you genuinely and truly felt that way, why wasn't it something that you did once you found out that Drake Bell was being sexually assaulted?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do more?
Ain't nobody gonna do that anyway. Ain't nobody gonna pay for that. Nah. And it's a good idea once again, but all that is not gonna happen, because the moment that these people isolate their child from the families and the parents and all that, the child doesn't know to go see a therapist. So the true way to prevent this from happening is allow parents to be on the set.
Mm-hmm.
And when things are filming and all that stuff is over, release the children to their parents.
Right.
That's how you eliminate this stuff from happening.
Mm-hmm.
These kids were isolated. Parents have dropping them off, trusting that these adults had, proper care for them, and they did not. So you want to protect people. I don't want to hear nothing about no therapist, because it's going to come from somebody that y'all hire.
Right.
So somebody that you hire is going to be just as shady as you. Allow parents to be on set and create parameters for these children and pay these parents a per diem, so that when filming and things like that are over, they're released to their parent. And then now we don't have these problems. Done deal.
Yeah. So if you are interested in seeing the actual interview, the 19-minute interview, you just want to tickle your fancy, it is on his Instagram page and his YouTube as well.
Loser.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't even waste your time, because it was absolutely terrible. Right along with the people who decided to write letters for Brian Peck, the one that sexually assaulted a minor who was Drake Bell, that now we, come to find out. And a lot of those actors are people that we know and love. Alan Thicke being one of them. Who was the other guy? Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World, the one that was Corey's friend, and his older brother. They wrote letters as well. Jason Marsden, I think that's his last name. All of these people decided to write in favor of Brian Peck. Only to now, Jason didn't say anything yet, and neither did Tyrion Killam. And of course, Alan Thicke has passed, but they haven't said anything yet. Their comments are absolutely in shambles. People are just like, when are you going to openly apologize? When are you going to say something? Blah, 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 blah. Because what we do know is that each one of them knew what Brian did.
This guy.
Yes, the two of them. They both wrote letters for Brian Peck. Brian Peck is the guy off on your right-hand side. But all of them have written letters, character letters for Brian Peck, saying that they didn't believe that he was that type of guy, and he's suffering the hurt of 100 men, and they've never had any issues with him. They were all character witnesses for Brian Peck. So now that information has come out, those two decided to, once again, jump ahead of it, because they knew that this documentary was coming out, and essentially wanted to apologize and say like, oh, well, we knew, but we didn't know to the extent. And, we were just really sorry about what happened. It was such a ridiculous response to the fact that.
But it may not have happened to them. And see, that's the
it may not have.
And that's the problem, because they're going to write from their experience. And that's where I think, you can't discredit somebody else's experience with this man. So the best thing to do is just chill. Like, R. Kelly didn't rape everybody he encountered.
Right.
So, but he did rape some.
Right.
And he did treat some bad.
Absolutely.
And so you may not have been the victim, and that other person may have. And out of respect to the fact that is a possibility, I'm going to not back the person who, I'm not going to back the alleged raper.
He had 41 letters, 41 people.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut until asked the question. Now, if somebody asks me, then I may say that wasn't my experience.
Mhm.
You know, no different than everybody on the set of the Cosby Show saying that what these other women were talking about was not their experience with Bill.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not going to voluntarily speak out until, you know,
because we don't know what a person does behind closed doors. That's number one. And then two, they all knew because he said, and I quote, "It was a hot guy. You know, we did some things together, but he was a minor." So after you say he was a minor, that's when I'm like, whoa, you want me to do what? So they were well aware, and we're not talking about kids. Like, we're talking about grown men. Like, a lot of these guys were 25 and up when they wrote these letters. So you were well aware. You just decided to go ahead and say, "You're my buddy. It's never happened to me. That kid must be lying. I'm going to write a letter," only to find out that not only did he assault him, but it was a long laundry list of what he did to this, you know, this 15-year-old, starting with grooming him.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right.
Horrible. So, of course, we'll keep you guys updated if there's any more updates there. But unfortunately, social media is taking care of it because they have the comment section in shambles, and no better for these dudes. But speaking of shambles, Jonathan Majors is back in the news once more. And this time it is because of his ex-girlfriend. She has resurfaced and she is suing him. Now, in a newly filed lawsuit in which she alleges that he committed assault, battery, and defamation against her in a series of episodes that took place between 2021 and 2023. It says that in December, Majors was found guilty, of course, in New York criminal court of assaulting and harassing her. But now she's filing a lawsuit on top of that. And his attorney, of course, is saying that, you know, we're going to fight this. We're going to get back. And we're going to make sure that, you know, this is something that we can essentially throw out. But this comes out shortly after Megan Good and himself were spotted on the red carpet, and where she said that she was happily in love.
I know Megan Good's ex-husband just laughs and sips wine, because I would.
And he is spotted with another woman.
And how is that chick's last name Jabari?
Grace Jabari?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Jabari?
Well, she's not American.
Oh, what is she?
I'm not sure.
Jabari. She sounds like she's cousin to Boudreaux Jabari.
Shut up. Anyway.
But no, what I'm saying is, like, that's corny. So now we're gonna pile on.
Yes, she's coming back with it. She's coming back with it because
what
she
more
felt
do you
like,
want? What more do you want?
She felt like he was slandering her image and her name throughout this whole entire ordeal. So now she's planning on suing because she said that there was some physical assault that happened.
Didn't we just address that?
Yes, but she's saying that this also happened in Los Angeles and London as well, outside of the New York incident. So,
well, here's how I feel.
What's that?
Whatever happens to you, Jonathan, you deserve.
Ooh.
And Megan, what are you doing?
Megan Good.
If I was Megan, that's not a good look for how they say it. City Girls is down 2 points with dealing with Megan, because that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Like, I don't know what happened between her and her husband. I have absolutely no idea what happened between her and her husband, and it could have been terrible. But from the outside looking in, it looks like you, Megan, because this is crazy. So you would rather put up with this than what you were going through in your marriage? How bad was it? A Tia moment where, like,
well, I think he called it quits because she was the one that was celebrating their anniversary, and literally, I think 2 or 3 days later, they announced that they were separated
because he was tired of the bull crap. This is what you want, so go get you a Jonathan. You thought you was getting a Russell. You didn't.
Shut up.
You
she
got
said she's happily in
Russell.
love.
Huh?
She said she's happily in love.
You got to play it up for the media now, because y'all was sitting in front of people at church talking about how great and how good and how great is our God and how good is he in our relationship. Only for this to happen, and now you end up with him with all this beating going on, and you're like, but I love him. City Girls down 200 points.
And to Kayla's point, she says Majors doesn't love Megan. Did y'all see how he kissed her at the end of
He kissed her like slightly on her lip, slightly on her cheek.
It was awkward. It was extremely awkward.
Here's the he's awkward. And I'm not gonna say that he did it because who knows? I know what we saw on the video, and I seen like, you know, he threw her in the car, attempted to throw her in the car, and then run. So that's the type of guy you are. Tried to throw a chick in the car and then run, and she's running behind you. And Megan Good said, "Yeah, I want to enter in this situation." What the Megan? What is wrong with you?
Wait, you know what?
That is absolutely insane. You yourself have a name. It's not like you're an off-brand chick who needs money. You're Megan Good. If a decent Tubi movie comes out, you'll be in it.
Well, she was in whatchamacallit, Harlem. That was on, it wasn't Stars.
Hulu. Well, yeah. So it you talking about the one with
it's almost like a knockoff of Insecure and Run the World.
Nope, I don't know what show you're talking about. But I get it. I've seen it. I've never stopped to watch it.
Because it's not good.
But the thing is, you can get something. I'm sure the Wayans brothers is making something that you might be able to get in.
What? Now, how did they get in this?
Because all their movies are on Tubi. I'm like, what the hell? Tubi is the WB of or UPN.
Prime. That's what it was. Yes, Prime.
Tubi is the UPN of streaming services, and I'm here for it because it got all our old stuff on it. But everything by Keenan is on Tubi. Well, you know, as long as that check come in, who cares?
Yeah, right.
Because we can go to Tubi if you're gonna pay us. But
and will.
But I feel bad for all three of them because I don't think anybody is specifically happy in this relationship at all, and everybody's playing for the camera. She might have initially been interested in Jonathan, but now you're stuck, and you'll look wild leaving him in this situation. So you just got to ride it out.
I wouldn't give a damn.
And he don't really want you. So what are we
I wouldn't
doing?
give a damn. Girl, save yourself. If this ain't it, move on, keep it moving. And people want to talk about you like, oh, I can't believe she left him at his lowest and
just chill. Nunu just chilled. What was Nunu?
Lauren London. Why do you sound like that old uncle who don't know anybody?
Because I forgot. I be forgetting their real names. Like
Lauren London.
Nunu just chills. You see when she just side-eyed that reporter when that reporter asked some crazy stuff and she's like, what? Like, I got kids, and then walked off. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Megan, what are you doing? She thought she was getting a Russell, and that shit did not work. She got anti-Russell. She got one that beats women. Did you see how Russ did you see the dude from last? No. This is a good thing. Did you see the dude from Last of Us staring at Sierra on the red carpet?
Yes.
Got stuck, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then Russell, excuse me, let me slide this way. Let me make sure. Let me make sure your dress ain't, because he's tripping. So let's come this way.
I know, that's right. Pedro said, hey now.
Pedro seen all that woman there, and Cece still got the baby weight on her. Cece looked good.
And hey girl.
Cece looked good. And that's what
hey girl.
And Pedro lost it for a minute.
And couldn't come back. He was stuck.
Russ had to move his woman out of the camera. Girl, come here, because this dude has lost his mind.
Hey now.
Kudos.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I like Russ. He's just corny. Let's go.
Anyway, so speaking of baby and women and checks and all those things, yes, Chiquita, Harlem is trash. Trevon Diggs is in the news. He's trending on social media. Well, because he and Cameron are going back and forth about his choice in women. As you may or may not know, his latest love interest is Joy Chavis, and she is the one that is linked to Bow Wow and to Future. She has children with those two, and now
Future got children with everybody.
He does. Literally everyone. But now she is linked to Trevon Diggs. Now the two of them seem to be in love, even though there's a clear age difference between the two. But he seems to be here for her. He's loving her. But Cameron actually spoke out about the relationship, and he was the one that was referring to Trevon when he was talking about, I don't want no man's leftovers, and I'm not gonna have you embarrassing me if I found out that you've been passed around, and so on and so forth. Well, of course, the news got back to Trevon, and he decided to tweet him. It was like, yo, you're mad old. Like, why are you even mentioning me on your platform? Like, I was a baby when your music came out. Like, dude, like, find something else to talk about, essentially. Well, Of course, Cameron, being the New Yorker that he is, decided to fire back and was like, I make more money than you anyway from my streaming platform. You need to worry about that. And, I don't worry about it. I was rapping when, you were born, or afterwards you were born, or whatever have you. Just a whole bunch of mess. And my thing is, do you feel like this is sassy behavior?
No, it's not sassy. It's barbershop behavior, and it's not what we usually put out there in public. So people in barbershops, men in barbershops is no different than women in beauty shops.
Mm-hmm.
Like that used to be like our country club. So now we taking these rips and conversations like this and now putting it on Front Street because we have a screen and camera and 24-hour access to just do whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
Is it zesty? No, it's just two dudes going back and forth. The funny part is, like, I kind of agree with Cameron, and it's funny, but you got to eat that, dude, because you the one out here having babies with everybody else who has babies with the same person. Like, so Cameron commented, and now your feelings is hurt because when you sit down and think about it, he's right. And the one thing you're never going to win is a petty argument with Cameron. Not going to do it. Like, so the best thing for you to do is just eat that, man, and just be Russell.
I was going to say, be on your Russell.
Take it and love your woman who has children by everybody. And get in line for the bag when she leaves you and has more children by the next athlete or star. That's all it is.
Go ahead and love on your woman. My thing is the age difference. But
who is the other one? Future and who?
Bow Wow. We are going to move on because
Future and Bow Wow, and you think that this was the best option for you, sir, at the mere age of maybe 23?
He's 25.
That's what I'm saying, 25.
And she's 35.
And you're a football player. Now,
Yes.
See, this is what I'm saying. So then now Cameron being probably like my age or like close to it, like he might be like latter 30s, early 40s.
I would say 40.
This is hilarious to us. Because you, as a guy making a lot of money on TV every single Sunday.
Is he good?
He's great. He's one
really?
of Dallas's best players.
Oh, okay.
You are the guy in Dallas. And you go, out of all the women you pick, you go get Bow Wow sloppy seconds. Maybe Future, because we see how it's working out for Russ, because clearly Future is the one. I'm going to just get them all early, and then y'all take them on the back end. Cool. But Bow Wow... I'm not even a celebrity, and I'm like, you messed with Bow Wow?
Said, leave me alone.
Because Bow Wow's on the opposite end of corny. Now, Russell is on good man corny. You get what I'm saying? So, like, when we talk about a good man, and then he's kind of like square, not even corny, square, L7. That's what they call him, square. Like, you won't see Russell do nothing out of pocket.
No.
Okay, so let's mosey down to the other side of corny. When you try to do too much and nobody really likes you. Did you see the conversation with him and Jay-Z courtside? And Jay-Z was just kind of like, yeah. And then it was nobody. You and Ray J are the same level of what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you and Ray J are the same level of huh? And I, you know what I mean? Like, do we hate Ray J? No.
No, we don't hate Bow Wow.
Do we hate Bow Wow? No.
No.
But do we think that you're irrelevant like that? No. You, Ray J, you're Brandy's little brother. And Bow Wow, you're just the prodigy of Snoop that just didn't quite go the way we thought it was going to go.
In his latter years, because he was ruling when he was young.
That's what I'm saying. You were the prodigy. Like, we thought you were going to be it.
Like Chris Brown fan.
And you were it. Then a period came where a comma was supposed to be. And unlike other people, you didn't reinvent it the right way because you went reality TV. And then now we're like,
and then you just kept doing really corny
things. And so then now this young dude did not do his research because, like he said, when all this is popping off, he's a baby. And then now for us, it's like, young dude, you didn't know? Like, Bow Wow?
He fell in love with those Instagram videos of her dancing and didn't care.
This is what I'm saying. And this is something that I want everybody to kind of feel me on this. And this is left field, and it has nothing.
level of
What? Yeah, they are. So this is like what I said about the movie Coming to America.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now be with me with this, y'all. Coming to America, we celebrated Prince Hakeem and Lisa getting married.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody understands that is literally, we watched narcissism through that movie in its finest. But the story was told from Prince Hakeem's point of view. So Prince Hakeem could have picked he was the prince of a country. He could have picked any woman in the world. He flew his ass to New York to take this man's woman and fly this woman back to Zamunda. And everybody's like, yeah. And we looked at Eric LaSalle, Mr. Soulglow himself, like he was the asshole. He was minding his business with his woman until Hakeem came over here with his shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, nobody looks at it from that view. There was a scene before Samuel L. Jackson came in, Eric LaSalle is saying to this woman what every woman wants to hear. You, my lady, you ain't got to work. Let me get you out of McDowell's. You ain't got to be here. What can I get you? And she's like, he said, let me get you a coffee. But then you go out that same night with a goat herder and dance. What? It's the same level of what? What? And we're like, yeah, Hakeem.
What?
We laughing at this, and it's like, this is narcissism at its finest.
So bring it back. How does this relate to Trayvon?
Because Trayvon, you are Prince Hakeem. You can have any woman you want. There is not a woman you cannot get. And you have the money to support whatever it is that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you go find Bow Wow and Future, baby mama, and you say, I'm next. You deserve to be clowned. You deserve every ounce of, I hope Cameron and Mace never let up. Ever. Because these young dudes, y'all don't understand how y'all ruin y'all lives. And later on, y'all gonna be angry and bitter
at her.
Mm-hmm. When she's just doing what she's doing, because the bag for her is secure. So she just added you to the list. Goofy. Like, there's so many women out here. Why would you do that? And I think instead of
he's seen them Instagram videos.
I think Cameron, instead of saying it the way I'm saying it, he's doing it New York style.
Yeah.
Because it is puzzling when you're on top of the world like that, bro. What scope were you looking at the world into where you would put yourself in this situation for the long haul? Us older guys look at the long haul and say, oh man, because that relationship ain't gonna last. Look at the track record. You just another notch on the belt, my guy. You had the kid, she secured the bag. Now, how much is it gonna cost you later? Y'all gonna love on each other for now.
Got tattoos and everything.
Y'all gonna love on each other now, but then eventually it's gonna cost you a couple dollars. Oh man, I'm sorry. There's a lot going on here. Where we at?
Oh no, it says, hey, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yes. Literally minding his very
Wasn't it? Eric LaSalle, aka Mr. Soulglow, was minding his bit. Him and Lisa were happy. They were happy. My man was giving tickets to the dad to go to the Jets game. He was the guy. And then here come a goat herder, because that's what we're going to say, because she didn't know he was a prince.
Right.
Here comes a goat herder, and you play my man for a goat herder? Come on. And nobody looks at this as narcissistic. He lied. He was also very aggressive about his approach. Like everything that women say they hate in Coming to America, Eddie Murphy's character did. Everything. Lied, aggressive, narcissistic, all this stuff.
Yes, I feel like this is a psych paper.
Yeah, it is, because but people will celebrate that. When this man in his country could have had any woman he wanted, it wasn't good enough. So you go fly and take somebody else's woman, and then everybody's like, yeah.
Maybe it was the thrill of the chase.
And that's what the father said. And then he gonna get mad like, no, because the dad said he's just here to sow his royal oats. And everybody's like, oh, how could you say that? Because it's the truth. He can have any woman he wants in Zamunda. Trey, you can have any woman you want.
Any woman. I didn't know he was good. Knowing that he's good and he's being paid well and all of that.
Good is an understatement. You're on Dallas. You are one of the best players on that team.
Oh.
And you choose Bow Wow's sloppy seconds? Whoo, Lord have mercy.
Shall we move on?
What do we got here?
It was arranged.
Right, but it was an arranged marriage, but he still had the ability to tell his dad he didn't want to do it. I want something else. The dad was surprised that he wasn't sleeping.
I'm going to sit here and dissect Coming to America.
Well, I mean, because the dad was surprised that he wasn't even sleeping with his bathers. Remember, he was like, I thought you were sleeping with your bathers. I know I do. Like,
Sure did.
like, you can have any woman you want. You flew your ass to America to take this man's woman, and he was doing everything that ideally he was supposed to do.
Well, maybe this is a conversation for Trey, where you sit down and you ask him, what was it about this one? Was it the sex, baby? It probably was the sex.
It got to be that, because the status is gone. Because Future had her first, then Bow Wow.
No, Bow Wow had her first.
Oh, Bow Wow had her first? Oh, then we know this.
I think so. Don't get me
whatever the order is. It's not like these are two winners in the game. Future, I don't know what Future got out here, but clearly Future's winning in the beginning because he's first. Then what's Bow Wow's real name? Rashad?
Shad.
Moss. Then Shad was next. And now you're in line like, ooh, me. And their age difference is like, what, almost 10 years?
Yeah, she's 35 and he's 25. Moving on.
And then you went and got 10-year-old coochie boy, you still got the range from 21 to at least 30 because you're 25. That range right there for you still good. You jumped over the moon and went to 35 with 2 kids how many kids total?
She has 2 kids.
2 kids.
Now the third is on the way.
With 2 rappers. Well, 1 rapper and Bow Wow.
Don't you discredit
1 rapper and a reality star guy. And that's it. Like, this is what you thought at 20. This tells me he has no man in his life.
Aww.
Not even a real friend, because a real friend would be like, no, don't do that. What you mean, bro? Bow Wow. And then that's when you shake your head like, true. Like, YouTube Bow Wow, my nigga. Like, this is what she thought. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask y'all a question. We got ladies watching.
There we go.
And I know the answer for you because Bow Wow's short.
Yes. Kay said Bow Wow was first each time because Bow Wow also had Sierra first, and then she went to, what was it? 50
So
Cent,
then that's Bow Wow messing people up. Bow Wow so trash. Once again, see the level of corny. Bow Wow so corny. Future, she had to just get something in her that was like, let me get this off. And then it was Future, and Future was so terrible. She said, well, let me keep going. And then now she's with Russell. Good for her.
Don't forget 50 Cent.
Nobody likes 50 Cent.
I
I don't even like 50 Cent. But my point of the matter is,
I did not think that you were going to go this in depth about these two.
Because I hate to see these young men ruin their lives like this, especially the young athletes or even young actors and young people who have lots and lots of money. You have lots and lots of money. That gives you access to women everywhere, other countries, everywhere. You got everything in your hand, and you pick a 35-year-old uterus to say, this is it. And not just a 35-year-old uterus. You pick a 35-year-old uterus that has been used with Bow Wow's child. Bow Wow.
Would you leave Bow Wow alone?
Bow Wow.
He must be that guy.
Bow Wow.
He must be that guy.
And then Future.
He also must be that guy.
Now, here's my question. If Bow Wow was not Bow Wow, ladies, if Bow Wow was just the normal guy, what's his name again?
Shad Moss.
If he was just Shad Moss and he had the character that we seen, would you date him? Would you?
Of course not. And he's short.
That's my point.
I wouldn't date Future either.
My point. That's what I'm saying. Clearly, this woman doesn't make good business decisions. Well, maybe she does because they got money. Like they have money. So what is it about her? We got to find out.
Everybody said no. I told you.
We got to
those
find
dancing
out,
videos.
We got to find out how to get to him.
She can dance her ass off.
He's going to be mad at me because I'm going to be the next Cameron. And I think we all should do this to him as older men to make these young guys feel ridiculously crazy about doing this to themselves so early in the game. You're 25, sir, with a lot of money. Now, all that money you got is split. Why? For what?
He said he's in love.
Right. So was Bow Wow and not Future, but maybe Bow Wow was too. You see what I'm saying? Like, so what are we saying? Like, nah, man, nah. And then are y'all married?
Well, Mr. Purvis said he's going to show you why tomorrow. So I guess he must.
It's the Instagram stuff, right? She's Instagram.
Like I said, she can dance her ass off. She's a phenomenal dancer, and she's pretty.
Okay. How many other phenomenal dancers that are pretty that are out here?
I don't have much of an argument for Joy. Okay, I don't.
Trash.
There must be something about this girl.
Trey Diggs, baby. Trey Diggs. You messed up, and now your career is going to be in the toilet because you got people now who ain't going to stop messing with you because you're going to sit here and defend your love like the dude in 5 Heartbeats. Every night I got to defend my love for somebody that Bow Wow.
Does she not deserve love?
What's the next story? Because my answer is no.
Well, damn. Would you say that about me?
If you pulled out a 25-year-old boy, me and you were going to have some conversations.
I said, does she deserve love? Not with a 25-year-old.
Does she deserve love? Absolutely.
Okay.
But with a 25-year-old boy, hell, and when you got 2 kids, hell no. You know what you're doing. And that boy, you done put all this on him at 25. And he thinks he's ready for it. You're not Russell. You're not Russell, my nigga. You're not Russ. You're not Russ. Russ is a unique dude. None of us is Russ. We aspire to be niggas like Russ. Like, let me get to my age of corny like Russ. Nobody does this early in the game. You're 25. And now you got to help take care of Bow Wow and Future's baby because they ain't.
I would wish if that was my son, go have fun. Be responsible, but go have fun. You're 25.
I'm 25 and I got lots of money and I get paid every Monday. Yes. Them football players get paid every Monday.
It's like, why did you make something so permanent so fast? Like, I understand she's pretty. She probably has good coochie and she probably sat there and did a few tricks in the bedroom that blew your mind out. But just have fun. Protect yourself and go have fun.
You can go to the Bunny Ranch and find her. I guarantee it. And pay that person.
Does that still exist?
Yeah, it does.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Ran by the same guy?
It's a different name now. But yeah, because Chuck looked it up when he went to Vegas. He didn't go. He didn't go. Oh, shit. He didn't go.
Oh, my God.
He didn't go because I was joking with him about it. And he was like, man, it's like 18 to 20 something miles outside of Vegas. It's not in Vegas. Because I was joking like, yo, go to the Bunny Ranch. He was like, bro, that's not even close. Like, I'm not doing that. But it's under new management, new people, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you, sir, have the money to go there, and then you can enjoy that and then be responsibility free. Dealing with her at 35, she got a total. It wouldn't even, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even advise that for a man, and we're not talking about celebrity status. At 25, you are not ready for the responsibilities that she carries. She has 2 children. So let's even remove the jokes of Bow Wow and Future. She's 35 with 2 children. When she is 45 with 2 children, she's not going to be as attractive to you when you get older and you're like, damn, because now you spent your life dealing with her, raising these kids and yours, and your life now, as you know it, is no longer the same. That's tough. And then now we end up with broken homes. And that's what I'm saying. Like at 25, he has nobody in his life that's saying, I don't think this is a good idea. Yeah. So
and like I said, go ahead, sleep with her, have fun, whatever have you. But I just think a child is a bit permanent, but hey.
I did, and then I did not spill the tea. Charles did not go. I was the person.
You keep using his name, Charles. You went to Bunny Ranch.
Charles, you looked up the Bunny Ranch. No, he did not. I was joking with him and saying, man, go to the bunny ranch because you're out there. And he was like, man, let me see how close it even is. And when he looked it up, he's like, man, it ain't even remotely close. So that was the extent of our conversation. It was only because we was joking because I said he's going to go Lamar Odom while he was out there because we all know what happened to Lamar.
Let's stop this story right now.
We don't know what happened to Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom went and lost his mind. Trevon Diggs, do that. Go have you a Lamar Odom weekend, baby. What's the?
It's too late now.
Why? Yeah, no, don't do it now because now you're a father.
Yeah.
But prior, you could have did that. Just like what was the movie? Not Money Talks, Rush Hour. Remember when Rush Hour 2 when Chris Tucker was like, I want her, and her, and two of them, and both of them, and Jackie was like, man, get off me, man, and you could do that.
Yes,
you got the money.
Yes.
And now you ruined your life with Future and
moving
Bow Wow's
on.
babies. That's terrible.
Moving on. And yes, Annie, she is a dancer
where
and
am I
a
supposed to go with
businesswoman
this?
As well. Go down.
Wait, we go up. This is okay tomorrow.
Yeah.
And everyone deserves love.
No, they don't. Him and Enid don't believe that.
I don't believe. No, I said everybody doesn't deserve a person.
Okay.
I can love you and not be in a relationship with you.
Okay.
So I do believe everybody deserves to be loved. I don't think there's someone for everyone. Like that. I don't believe that. I like what we know you do. God damn it. Take my picture off every time. Every time she does it. You come on with this shit every time talking about you and Russ. I swear for God. Yes, and what's crazy is he's a Pittsburgher, so I probably could get to this Negro.
Yay!
I probably could get to him.
That would be
That's
so
not even
amazing.
being funny.
That
like,
would be so amazing. I would be so excited.
What do you think? I'm gonna take her to go? Ooh, story.
Oh God, here we go.
Story. So
please don't put nobody's business out there.
Too late. Story. I go to a football game with my ex-wife. Now her person was Jerome Bettis. No, I got to tell it because she's doing the same shit. So it was Jerome Bettis, right? And so,
Jerome? She like Jerome?
She loved Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis.
That makes sense.
So then we get interviewed by a person going into the game. So I got my arm around it. We're all smiling. And the dude's asking us Steeler questions and trivia and everything. And we're answering them. High five. We got it right. I swear the only person who has this video is Brian Cook. He still has the video. And then they said, a wild ass question. Out of any the Steelers that you could actually have a relationship with, who would it be? She said, oh, Jerome Bettis, and cheesed. Nigga, I'm sitting right there.
I'm answering the question.
And she got happy and then like moved me out the way. Like, if this is me, and she was like, oh, Jerome Bettis, and smiled. And they aired that shit on TV. So
with the
now I'm out there like this. And now they're like, enjoy the game. Man, this game.
And
Jerome Bettis. And then here she go. I like Russ. Hey, get off my live with this, man.
It's okay, Chiquita.
Get off my live with this, man. Y'all are acting up.
It's okay.
Get off.
It's all good. There's nothing. I would love to talk to Russ. I would be so excited. Like, Russ, it's you.
Nah, man, I ain't with that.
Whatever. Well,
oh no, you talk to Russ, yeah, but not her. I'm telling Sierra.
I'll tell you, Chiquita. I'll be like, Chiquita, sneak on. Russell's here.
He ain't leaving CC. We know that.
No,
he loves him some CC.
Obviously. But you know who's not in love? And this will be our final story before we get into, actually, we might be able to fit two. Before we get into our guest, Larsa Pippen.
Oh, man. Another loser.
And her boyfriend, Marcus Jordan. They have decided, even though you may have seen the reports of them, reconciling their relationship and they were off, but now they're on again. They have decided that, well, actually, she has decided to call it quits. She just feels like, the relationship has run its course and that, they're spending more time apart because she's been filming and, they just simply want, and I quote, they simply want different things out of life.
As they should. Like, here we go again with the age gap. No, not a rant. Here we go with age gap differences. Michael Jordan's son, and you were married to Scottie Pippen. You get what I'm saying? Like, Michael Jordan's son, and you were married to Scottie Pippen. What is besides those two being two top athletes for the Chicago Bulls, what do y'all really have in common?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that you wanted to just dig a little bit to Scotty.
To Scotty, yes.
And so you go talk to his son. Because what does Michael Jordan's son have to offer you specifically after dealing with Scottie Pippen? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's booked and busy.
Like what does his son
What?
now you gonna see. I don't because it makes it like I'm mean.
What? His son what? Sucks?
He was the son that didn't get the gene.
Oh, okay.
So like he was the guy who like he runs his dad's shoe store. He runs his dad's shoe store. Yay. My dad is Michael Jordan, and I run his shoe store. That's why I promise you, I literally hold on, let me bring us back up. I literally pray Bronny James decides it's not gonna be yet. I hope he decides to not pursue basketball.
Really?
After he had the heart attack, because he had a heart attack. Yeah. After he had that heart attack, I don't believe that he will be the same player he was prior. And currently it shows. Why add that pressure to live up to your dad in that way? Because they're already doing it to him. Literally saying to LeBron, like, well, what's going on with your son? Why isn't he scoring points? And
we talked about it yesterday with performance anxiety and everything.
Absolutely.
Like that. Yeah,
and it's fearful, just like DeMar Hamlin, the gentleman who had the heart attack. No, the one from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, he died on field, didn't he?
Well, technically, yes. They brought him back to life a couple times. He tried to go back to the field and play, and he can't do it. He can't do it. So I don't think it's something that some of these athletes' children should pursue. I know you want to be like dad, but the criticism that's going to come because dad is so great,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be hard, and that can create some lanes of trauma that you might not want to indulge in. So I'm praying that Bronny James finds something else outside of hoops that he can be really successful and not run your dad's shoe store.
Here we go.
Because that's crazy. That's the best Jordan could do for his son, and say, you know what, son,
run my shoe store.
And we're only going to have the shoes in here that literally, now this ain't no joke, literally are $1,000 and up.
Ooh.
So this is a boutique. Like, so these are the Jordan shoes that are like player edition specific shoes. So you can't, me and you, us, we're not walking in there just saying, let me get a size 12.
Right. No.
They actually have people that make appointments to go get these shoes. No different than you would go to get a diamond.
So they're not like collector items.
Some of them are. Some of them are. Some of his shoes are specifically in there as collecting items. But then when Jordan makes or re-releases certain things, there are player editions that are specific for certain players. And you can't just go into the store and buy them.
Right.
But in Jordan's store that his son runs, you can go in there and there's only a limited quantity, literally no different than like when you're buying, specialty paintings and things like. It has exactly what number shoe this is out of how many made.
That's insane.
And his son runs that.
They're just going to get
dirty.
dirty.
And Scottie Pippen's wife thought this was the best option for me.
Well, we know she was being petty. So
exactly. Jesus.
With that being said, we have a guest. We're going to switch gears.
We're going to totally switch gears from drama and babies. And
I did not expect you to go that hard on Trevon like that. I thought that was going to be a quick in and out story. But we have a guest.
Can't be. Yeah. Come on in.
Come on in, Robert. I don't know. Can you get behind me? Let me move.
Come on in, sir.
How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself? Good.
I have a Michael Jordan story for you that's not for free.
Oh, it's not?
Well, it's safe, but
okay.
It's not like it's just kind of dorky.
Okay.
We're here for it. We're here for it.
Comfortable?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Okay. Let's get your mic up.
There we go. Mic good.
All right. Say something to the
Would
people.
You like headphones, or you don't need them?
Headphones would be great.
Okay, hold on one second. I'll get you a pair.
Well,
here, Cam.
Let's go on
a quick break.
Quick break.
Yeah, I'll get the headphones for you.
And we will be right back. I promise you.
All right. And we're back.
Hey, y'all.
For those who just jumped in, it's your man, Coach Block.
And it's your girl, So Fab.
And would you like to introduce our special guest?
Absolutely. So we have Robert Birnbach in the building. And Robert, I love the fact that you were just so laid back, but you are a really, really dope photographer. Like, your work is phenomenal. And he just casually told us a story about,
Michael Jordan.
playing with Michael Jordan. Like, everybody has that opportunity. Yeah. He's like, oh, I was just shooting, photos of him. And he invites me. What?
Yeah. Right.
What?
Yeah,
that doesn't happen to everyday people.
We were just at the park, just casual.
You didn't tell me to sit down.
That's all right. I'll take that. I'll take it.
Goodness. So, Robert, let the people know a little bit about your journey, everything that you do. I mean, we know that you're a photographer, but tell us even how you even got into it.
The funny thing is, it was music that made me do it. I have no musical talent. But I love music, and I would spend hours as a kid looking at all the magazines and pictures and things like that. And so I really wanted to start taking pictures at about 13 years old.
Wow.
That's up until 4 years ago. Every job I've had has had the title photographer too. And it started then. I grew up in New York, New Jersey, and I photographed music even, as a teenager. That's all I really wanted to do. And then I became a commercial advertising photographer, and I spent years doing that, mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I oversaw marketing photography for a huge global software company for a long time. And, now I'm focusing on the music photography again. The last 12 years, I've been photographing mostly jazz, but a lot of that work. And there's a new book coming out. I guess
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that. And doing some other fine art stuff. And so it's been a long journey, up and down. And finally, after I don't know how many years, but decades of doing this, I feel like I'm finally finding my voice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It
Now,
took me a long time to do it.
What does that mean to you when you say you're finding your voice? Because some people feel as though photography, like when you say, oh, you need an eye for it, some photographers will say, no, you don't. You just go out there and you do it. So when you say finding your voice, what exactly does that mean?
So photographers don't take photographs, they make photographs, right? So everything's created. So, and everything has a point of view. Every photographer has a point of view. And it's really easy to take pictures that look like everybody else's pictures, right? And it's really easy to take pictures when all the conditions are absolutely right. Everybody can do it.
Yes.
Everybody has more technology in their phone than Henry Cartier-Bresson ever had. Most of those pictures we're never going to look at again, but 100 years later, we're still looking at Cartier-Bresson's pictures.
Right.
So finding my voice for me was finding a way to create images consistently that captured a moment, but captured a moment in a way that you look at that image and it's mine, right? There's certain photographers, and I'm not comparing myself to Irving Penn. I would never, ever do that.
Right.
But, I look at an Irving Penn picture, I know it's an Irving Penn picture. I look at a Robert Mapplethorpe picture and I know it's his. And for a long time, I always thought of myself as a craftsman and not an artist, right? And I mastered my craft. You came to me and you said, I need a picture of this. It needs to fit in this space and be this, I can do that, right? But it didn't have something that was mine. And I think in the last few years, I've really started to develop that and figure that out and find the right tools to do it with.
So what is the shot? Like when you have it, like, so for, let's say, a sporting event, it might be an embrace after a game, or like a view of a player just going through or fighting through a bad play or an emotion. But when you're watching a artist on stage, what is the shot when you're saying, I got it? What is that?
And I know when I got it and I know when I don't. It's, photography and music and sports, right? These things all happen in a moment. And if you don't capture the moment, it disappears, right? So I think for me, that moment is, and it's sometimes a fraction of a second where that emotion is coming through. I want you, when you look at my pictures, to be able to hear the music.
Yes.
Right? So, jazz is improvised, right? And I photograph a lot of jazz. And so as a jazz musician's on stage, they really need to be paying attention to what's happening, thinking about what's going to happen next. If they're not present, they miss that, they're not there. They can't find that space. And whether the band knows it or not, I think of myself as part of the band, because if I'm not paying attention like a musician, I will miss that moment.
Gotcha.
So I'll know when it's there. The same way I think when, I'll tell a story that I'll paraphrase a story.
Yeah.
Herbie Hancock tells this story about playing with Miles Davis in the early 60s. And he said, it was one of those nights where things were really going, the band was cooking. And I hit this chord on a piano and I knew it was wrong. I wanted to put my hand over my ears and just shrink down underneath the piano. And then I looked up at Miles and I was expecting him to look at me with those daggers. And what Miles did was he played notes that made my chords right. And Herbie says, because he didn't see it as a mistake, he saw it as something that happened. And his job was to respond to what's happening. That's my job as a photographer, right? And so a lot of times, and when I say I found my voice and I found the technique that I use, I will frame a shot before there's an experience there. I'll find the spot in the club, on the stage. A lot of times, because I know the artists and I know the festivals, I'll get access. I can shoot from the wings. I know how to keep out of sight. So the artists that know me are comfortable with me being on the stage.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I will find that spot and I'll say, okay, if I'm right here, and I love the way the piano frames her right there playing, but she's going to have to be in the exact right spot for me to do it. And not only does she have to be in the exact right spot, she's got to be at the exact right moment. And because, I often have, can shoot the whole show too. Not every photographer, not every artist will let you do that. When I can, I'll just park myself there and I'll wait for that moment. And so I'll find those places and wait for it to happen within my frame. Other times it's much like a sporting event where, you're chasing it. But what I found is that when I'm doing that and I'm not as intentional, I document it, but I don't capture that feeling.
Gotcha.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that. And there's so much feeling behind your work. And it's amazing because just looking at it, like you can see a person's soul in your photo, and whatever they're feeling in that moment, you can see it in your photo and in your work. So what are happy to do it. What are some of the best things that you've heard about your work when you actually show it to your client?
Well, for me, and a lot of times my client is the music festival or the venue or something like that. It's not always the artist. To me, the thing that's really special is when I show it to the artist and it resonates with them. And there's a few artists in particular. And one, it's funny, is she had an interesting story in her Instagram about an experience that she had with the musician Chris Botti at a time that she needed somebody to kind of inspire her. Veronica Swift is who I'm talking about. And, I'd photographed Veronica a few times over the years. And then last year, after one of the shows we photographed, we really connected, right? And we had great conversation. And now I've photographed her a few more times this year and we've developed this rapport. She sent me a text that said, I just did these shows and all the photographs, they don't have that moment. You always find that moment. To me, that warmed my heart. And it came at the right time because I had actually been looking at all the pictures in this book. The book has 185 pictures in it. I had 900 and something. And so I spent all this time with it. And then I don't know if you've ever experienced this with a creative project. I was looking at it and I said, all of it sucks. Why does anybody want to book my stuff? None of this is any good. And like, I should just forget it. And I got that text and it was like, okay, I can do it. So to me, when that happens, when I give an artist a print and I can see they're moved by it or they see something that connects, because their music gives me so much, right? Music, I mean, I know for you guys, because I listen to the show, like music it gives us so much, right? And their music often will do that for me so that I can share that and give it back. That's what's special to me.
That is awesome.
It's not so much the client,
right?
Like the client's the craftsman. I know I can do the job. You gave me the parameters for the job. I know I can deliver it. I can deliver it on time and on budget. That's fine. There's no passion in that.
Right.
But when those good musicians put so much out there on the stage or on the record. If I can capture that for them and it resonates for them, that's reciprocal to me. That's really special.
Is there a moment that you can remember where you shooting you were able to not only catch the artist but the audience? So where do you have a shot where you seen like both connect at the same time, and what's that story behind that?
Yeah, actually, there's a couple shots like that. There's two in particular, but there's one because it's an art that when we talk about the artist loving it. This is the story. So there's you guys might remember if you ever saw Purple Rain, Morris Day and the Time. Ricky Freeze Smith, who's the bass player in Morris Day. Yeah. They were playing at the San Jose Jazz Festival. So it's 10,000 people out there. It's a huge audience. And I had come up behind the band on the stage. And so he's standing there with his bass looking out at that crowd. And there's a gesture in his body. There's something in his body. And I just felt like it was a photograph that just worked, even though you don't see him, it just worked. And I gave it to him. He put it out there on his socials and things like that. Awesome. The picture's from 2012, I think. That's one of the early shots. Well, then I saw him a couple years ago and playing again. And he sees me and he's like, man, that's the best shot anybody's ever taken. I got to go find Morris, right? And so he drags me into Morris's dressing room. He was like, who is this guy? Why are you here? And he's like, man, this is the guy who took that picture and all that. And he's like, and Morris, all right. But whatever, Freeze. But, and then he said to me that night, he goes, tonight, I want you to be down there in the corner. I'm going to look at you. And we're going to get, and that shot's good, but it's not the same as that one where we get the audience as well. And then there's a couple others. So sometimes I'm working in a really intimate club, in a small club. And there's a shot of a piano player who I love named Javier Santiago. And you can just see the audience behind him and they're enraptured. Like everybody is just, right there. And that would be another one.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So geographically, you've traveled everywhere.
I've been around.
And so now the question is like, where do you have the most like musical memory where you can say like, this is a spot where I would go back time and time again because the music's right, the shots are right, the people's right. It's an energy. Like my sister loves New Orleans. Like, so like where would that be for you where everything is just married and it's popping?
I don't know. Cause it's different every time. Right. I mean, I heard you guys last night. I was hoping there was going to be some of those cookies left. But there's a new venue here in Durham, Missy Lane, right?
Yes.
It's a small, intimate venue. Those artists are not usually, at least when I've been photographing before in places like New York or San Francisco, they're in much bigger venues, right? The venue's a little tricky to shoot in. I haven't shot in there much.
Okay.
So I got to still kind of find those places. Like I know where I want to shoot in there. I don't know him well enough to let me shoot. There's a little spot behind the stage that I think is a spot. Yeah. But I think, actually, I will tell you, there's a place in California called the Break Room that San Jose Jazz put together during the pandemic. Okay. And it was great because all these venues were closed. Nobody was out there. So they turned their office. They moved all the chairs and all that stuff away. And they built a little stage in the office and started streaming shows from there. Right. Well, after the pandemic was over, they've kept it. And it seats about, I'd have to, probably 200 people. Okay. And they live stream everything. So there's cameras all around and all that. But because it's really just an office, right? I can literally just kind of walk almost on stage in a way that I can't anywhere else. Okay. And I thought it was gonna be a terrible venue to shoot in, and I actually think it's one of my favorites. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And it's a great space if you're ever in San Jose because it is so intimate. Gotcha. And that intimacy between the audience and the musicians are right there.
Yes. Yeah. And that was something I was actually going to ask you when it comes to the venue. Typically there are these large, like you said, you're talking about a festival, but then you have the more intimate spaces where everyone is so close knit and together. Would you say that's more of what you favor, or it's just kind of, like you said, it's just a moment?
It's just a moment. I would actually have to say when I shoot the large festivals, generally I'm there by invitation from the festival. So I have access. And being able to, and those stages are larger,
Mhm.
so I can hide a little bit and get out of the way, so I can actually get more intimate moments sometimes than I can in the smaller venues. You know,
Okay.
one of the things I always want to be respectful about is I am not the main character, right? And there are people who paid money to go see these guys play, and
Right.
I don't want to be in their way. Right? This isn't my
Right.
photo
Who
shoot.
is
Right?
this guy?
Right? And you know,
Move.
yeah, and so that sometimes in the more intimate venues can be a little difficult. Yeah.
You got. I think we have a question. You know, I can't see it.
Okay.
That's my running joke. There we go.
What are your favorite shots to take? Is your first question. Let's start with the first question. What are your favorite shots to take?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but my favorite time is to be lost in the music with a camera in my hand.
Okay.
You know, so
you're
you know,
feeling it too at that time.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, I've been, like I said, I was a commercial photographer for a long time. I've shot thousands of pictures of chairs and sofas and, you know, men's slacks and things like that. Those things, I mean, I don't want that I don't want, but like
Right.
when I'm kind of off in the wings on a stage and I'm lost in the music and there's a camera in my hand, those are the my
Yeah.
favorite shots to
Gotcha.
take. Yeah, I don't know if that's the answer to the question. My
think so.
favorite types of musicians to photograph are guitar players and trumpet players.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, because the trumpet players, there's not the instrument doesn't get in the way the same a lot of other instruments do.
Understandable.
Like drums and pianos, man, there's just all this crap.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you don't see the piano player's hands, he's just could be typing, right?
Correct.
So or you see the keys, right? So those guys are tough. Guitar players, this isn't true of every guitar player. There's a couple that I really love, but they it's kind of like they're a little too showy, you know, and they know they're showing off, right? And whereas some of the other, like trumpet players in particular, will really get lost in the music and his eyes are closed and again, gesture. There's gesture in everything. It's not just the body. There's
Right.
gesture in the, you know, and so I think that would be my favorite.
Okay.
Awesome.
I love drummers, but I hate photographing.
I know that's right. What is your favorite shot you ever took? But I think that he already answered that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to say there are two. There's a photograph I took of Roy Hargrove, who's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But
Love Roy Hargrove.
and I knew Roy when he first came to New York. We're the same age, and I met him when I was a teenager and he was a teenager. And this was in Monterey in 2017, not long before he died. And he had moved to the back of the stage and was sat down and he was listening while the band was playing, and he was looking up and he's holding his trumpet and he's in the shadows. And that's one of my favorite photographs. Recently, and I always love my new photographs, right? I look back at the old ones and think, that sucks. Yeah. But I'm talking about Veronica Swift again, who is, if you haven't listened to Veronica Swift, listen to Veronica Swift, because she is, there's a video online of her doing her straight jazz scat stuff with Wynton Marsalis somewhere. And at one point, Wynton just shakes his head and just like, you know, but she's moved into doing what I think she calls it transgenre, right? Which is a mix of rock and jazz and all that. And she was in Charlotte in October. And there's a shot that I took where she's very bendy and she's leaned way back in her head and she's on her knees, like doing like a yoga pose, screaming. And her guitar player is kind of looking over at her, and just the bass drum is right there, and it has this illustration that makes it almost look like there's like sound coming out of her mouth. And that shot to me, and it's not in the book because it was too rock and roll, but it's on my Instagram.
Okay.
That's one of my absolute favorite shots.
Yeah. I was just about to ask, because the next question was, did you bring any shots? But we can bring them up.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, shut the front door. And talk about your book.
Well, I got the book, but what I thought was fun, and I could be wrong here, is this was the book right there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I had to edit the book, and I had to kind of spread it all out and figure it out. But this is the book. Yeah.
Hold on, I got an idea. Hold on one second.
What I was gonna say, what are you gonna do?
Get the other camera so that we can put it right onto the.
I mean, there's a lot of pictures here, but
that is awesome. So these are all the ones that are included in your book right now.
I think this is what I started the edit from.
Okay.
So there's some that didn't make it, but Yeah, there's a few in here. Actually, this is a
I
favorite.
was gonna say I love that one.
Yeah, and this
Love
is
that.
Dr. Lonnie Smith, who's not with us anymore. Yeah, this is mostly like, so some of that didn't make it. That's Casa Overall,
Oh my God.
who's at Missy Lane tomorrow night.
I love that
Yeah,
picture.
and Casa is amazing, and you should go see him if you're in Durham.
Hey now. Goodness.
the ability to show you.
Yes.
Yeah, but
And in the meantime, let everyone know about your book, The Silence Between.
yeah, so the book is called The Silence Between. It's put out by a Danish publisher called Snap Collection.
Mm-hmm.
There's a link on my Instagram, which is RBS Photo,
Mhm.
and it's 250 pages. It's a giant hardcover coffee table book. There's 180 photographs in it. It's big. It's heavy. They're an art publisher, so it's not on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
and there's shipping, and it comes from Denmark. But it's beautifully printed. The books, I've seen other books they've done. My book will start shipping in a few weeks, and it's available now.
So there, I think you
yeah.
might be able to show
Some
if
of
you
the
just
pictures.
drop them right
Okay.
in front of your
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
glass.
So that's the Casa shot that Kim was just talking about. This
Love
is a
that.
shot I particularly like.
And
This-
that one.
So this one's
Yes.
different because it's not a moment necessarily, but the story is I was backstage. This is Trevon Jackson, who was playing with
There you go.
Donald Harrison and Charles McPherson and Gary Bartz that night, and they were all standing around talking, and he was holding his horn, and I took that picture. This is another favorite of mine because I love the geometry of that.
Mhm.
That's a great photo.
So that's what I'll often look for is geometry, right?
Mhm.
And I'll look for, but there's silence
I
between.
love that. Yes.
That's Charles McPherson. That's that same night as the Trevon Jackson picture.
Mhm.
Let's see. This is another moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's Veronica. Not the shot I was talking about.
But still, like I said,
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at the emotion and just
Yeah.
like the energy that comes out of your photos.
Yeah, it's funny because I'd photographed Veronica before, and when I photographed her before, she was, very elegant, very jazzy dress and all that. And then she started doing this new thing, and they're wearing these like circus outfits. and she's like, "Look, I made it easy for you."
And we actually have a photo of the book.
book?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, well, I could show
Go
you.
ahead
This
and
is
share.
Oh, okay. Hold
this
on.
is Jose James. Oh,
There you go.
yeah, that's another one where you talk about being in
Yes.
an intimate venue, and you can really, yeah.
We have some comments.
yes, we do.
Morris
So
Day. That's
Oh, that
talking
Morris-
about that.
I love
No, wait a minute. Go back to that Morris Day one.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you, I got goosebumps as soon as I seen that picture. Here's why.
Okay.
My father, one, resembles Morris Day.
Mhm.
Two, is one of his favorite artists. How much for that picture?
just gonna. You can have that one, but I'm gonna make you a different print. I'm gonna make you a better print and sign it, and I'll show you
Please
some
do.
of the others. But yeah, that's.
My father literally, this is one of his favorite artists right here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's great.
And he resembles him too.
This is an example of trying to find that spot.
Yeah.
So you can sign it.
That's Cyrus. I'm gonna make you a real size print one you can give your dad and hang on the wall.
He passed, but we'll hang it up right here.
Okay,
right
okay,
here.
got it.
Yes.
that is awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, these are. Oh, this one didn't make the book.
It didn't? That's a
no,
dope picture.
That's Laura
Yes.
Chavez. I had 180 pictures. I had 900 and something to choose from.
Yeah.
That's
you know?
tough.
That's a great
Yeah.
picture.
How long was the process for you to be able to sit? Like, how fast did you have to work for your deadline?
I started the book in November,
Okay.
and I signed it off about an hour ago.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, this is a little dorky moment, but this picture here, I can, if anybody's interested in the technical part of it, I photograph and I use a lot of old manual focus lenses.
Okay.
It slows me down a little
Mhm.
bit, which sometimes, all the technology and
Mhm.
having eye autofocus and all that
Mhm.
is great. Other times I want to slow down. And if you look at that picture again,
Okay.
you'll notice in the background, it's got the
Yes.
background's sort of swirled.
Like
Yeah, it's
curved,
curved.
yes.
Yeah, and that is an imperfection in the lens.
Hmm.
But what I love about it, and you'll see it often in my work is it helps you focus in on the subject,
Mhm.
right? And it's got to be just the right moment, and it's hard sometimes because people are moving quick, and these lenses, and this particular lens is a Russian lens from the 1950s.
Wow.
You could use it to work out with. It's so
Mhm.
heavy, but you know, it's not designed to work quickly.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's taken me some time to figure out how to do
That
that.
was
Oh, you
gorgeous,
want to look
too.
at that too? That's Jackie Gage,
I love that.
who I've photographed so many times over the years. I had to really select which one. This one's not in the book, but again, the geometry, I really love it.
Mhm.
That
That is
dope.
dope. Yeah.
You guys remember En Vogue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
Oh, I like that one too.
that one is in the book. That's a shot of Veronica. That's actually on the cover.
Love that.
But yeah, I mean, these are just fine. There's
That one's a nice one. I like that too.
And this one.
Marcus Shelby. I know a lot of people like Marcus Shelby.
Yeah.
That is dope.
That's
But yes, you have a lot of comments,
Yeah.
so that's
Oh, great.
gorgeous.
Oh,
These
I'm
are-
sorry. Let me get
yes.
to the comments. Hold on. I start right here, right?
No, that was a question.
Okay.
So then we
Okay,
have a
we're here.
heart, and then just yes, and
Thank
that's
you guys
gorgeous.
so much for having me.
I'm so happy to do it. These are amazing.
This is Marquise Hill, who
Hold on, let me
was
pull that
just
one up.
here in Missy Lane. I got a chance to
That's
give him
nice.
not this print,
Mhm.
but another print, and it was one of those moments. I could see it in his eyes, and you know, it was great. And he's just a lovely people.
Oh my
It is. It's something that you would see in the
Yeah.
museum.
So
Yeah.
Tolliver, if you're in California, San Jose Jazz has been presenting. There is a show
Mhm.
of there's 55 pieces at the San Jose Museum of not Museum of Art, the San Jose City Hall
Okay.
they've been there for a long time now. I don't know how much longer the show is going to be up,
Mhm.
but thank you. That's a lovely statement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, because
Yeah.
the tools that you used are not conventional. That's what you
Not at
just.
all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
then, if you are talking
Find
to
an
a
example
person
of
who's looking at your work and maybe mentoring, like if you're mentoring someone, what would you suggest, or what piece of work would you suggest, or tool that you would suggest them to use to capture their shots, or is it
It's Casa again.
everything's unique? I'll show it right there.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
And then I love his blazer that he's wearing.
Yeah. These pictures are a few years apart, you know. So sometimes I'll photograph the artist
Mhm.
multiple times, which is great because we'll get to have a rapport as well.
Mhm.
And once they're comfortable with me, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the answer to that question is use your iPhone, use whatever you have.
Mhm.
It's not the tool,
Mhm.
right? It's actually practicing
Mhm.
how you see and how you see the
Ah,
world,
okay.
right? And start to look at what I would recommend if somebody's starting out or interested in it is look at as many pictures as you can,
Mhm.
Mhm.
whether it's on Instagram or go to the library and look at books. Look at the history of photography.
Mhm.
You know, great photographers like Roy Diacarava, Gordon Parks,
Mhm.
Jim Marshall.
Mhm.
You know, look at their work and go, you know, Irving Penn, why does this work for me?
Mhm.
Dissect it,
Mhm.
figure out what it is that you're responding to, because we're all going to respond to something different.
Correct.
Mhm.
And then once you figure that out, then figure out how you want to make people feel,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So I know when I go into this, I want people to feel like they're there. I want them to be able to hear
Yes.
the music. So I mean, this is actually, I cropped this image different, but this is an image I particularly like. I'll show you two, that because seeing
Mhm.
that little bit of the drumstick moving,
Mhm.
that's intentional,
Right.
right? And that gives you the sense of the energy that's happening, right?
Mhm.
So when you find those things, or this is another one,
I like
Lawrence
that.
Fields,
Mhm.
that you see, I know what I respond to in this picture, so I know when I'm in that space what I want you as a viewer to feel.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So once you've identified those things that are you're responding to,
Mhm.
then you need to practice your craft
Mhm.
and figure out how you capture that.
Mhm.
And then figuring out what tools you need to do that becomes important.
Mhm. Mhm.
But everybody's going to have something different that they want to do. So the
Mhm.
tools that I use for music
Mhm.
are not going to necessarily be the same tools that if you want to photograph, you know, eagles fishing at Jordan Lake, that you're going to
Right.
use, or
Or like sporting events.
or
maybe?
sporting events,
Mhm.
or if you're going to really want to do a, you know, a studio portrait. You know, they're going to be different, and those same tools
Mm-hmm.
are going to be different for different photographers, right? There's a few photographers out there whose work I absolutely love, who use the fastest, most modern cameras, and you know, the autofocusing lenses and all that, because that's what works for them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
for me, I still do use those cameras, but I pick and choose.
Gotcha.
And there's a reason, and part of the reason is it's about being present.
Mm-hmm.
And the having to manually focus a lens, how to select my aperture manually, it makes me be in the moment.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think because that's how I was trained. I was trained prior to all the technology that we have now. So I learned how to shoot things manually. So for me, that's second nature. I don't have to think about it. Somebody who's maybe coming up now, who's so used to their iPhone or whatever, they don't understand it the same way. I'm not saying one's better than the other. There's a lot of young photographers who've never shot film who are shooting amazing work.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask that, because with using different equipment that may be older, I noticed still though you're catching the lighting, and lighting to me when I purchase a picture is huge to me. Like what catches, what body part catches. So do you find that getting in the moment with that and kind of figuring out that lighting and bending light like that puts you in that mood? Or like, how do you take a picture such as this one right here? And let's show that one again. And you catch all that different lighting from like the back and the shadows, the right shadowing on the face and the forearm. Like that is a perfect catch as far as
it's a choice. You know, I have to be aware of where the light is when you're, particularly in live performance, and sometimes you're restricted as to where you can be. Live performance is good in some ways because you're lighting it for the audience, and oftentimes the lighting may look good, but sometimes it's too dark. So I make those choices of knowing what I'm going to look for and paying attention to that, and paying attention to where I need to be in order to capture that.
Gotcha.
And then waiting for it. So sometimes too, you know, venues and particularly, you know, stage lights will change, right? So you have to really sometimes be patient.
Gotcha.
And sometimes I've been there and like, oh man, the light was great and nothing happened, or that moment was great and the light was, you know.
Okay.
Sometimes you can fix that stuff later. You know, everything for me is interpreted in post afterwards. You know, I don't shoot in black and white, I shoot in color, right? And so how do I want, back when you used to shoot film, there were panchromatic films and monochromatic films. How does a black and white film see red, for instance, right? So you used to see photographers put yellow filters on their camera, you know. So I can make those choices on how I interpolate how the black and white is interpreted, what highlights I want to bring out. You know, when we worked in a dark room, we burned and we dodged. And you know, I do the same thing. I also don't see myself, and this is a controversial statement, I don't see myself as a journalist. So I will remove, I hate plastic water bottles. You know, everybody goes into a venue. I mean, I understand why the musicians have them, right? But those white, you know, and they take you away from the moment and they place you at a time, right? I want you to look at this picture and not know if I took this picture in 1955, 1985, or 2025.
Right.
And when you get those plastic water bottles in there, you know it, right? So I will remove that stuff. I don't have a problem doing that. My issue is I will never change the moment.
Gotcha.
Right. I will remove things that are extraneous and taking you away from seeing that moment, but I'll never change the moment.
Okay.
You know, I'm never going to change somebody's expression on their face or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, that's a controversial statement, particularly these days. But yeah.
Are you at a point where you are, or would you like to possibly mentor and or teach classes?
I've taught before when I was in the Bay Area. I love teaching. Mentoring, I would love to do that. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's, the answer is yes.
Awesome.
So you've talked about the artist moment and the crowd moment, but what is that moment for you? So if somebody was snapping a picture like this of you, what is that moment?
Of me?
Like,
has anyone ever caught you doing you?
I hate having pictures of myself. Really? But you know, there's a moment you want to. I mean, that's common, right?
Oh,
but
that's common.
look at the gesture in the hand.
Right. Right.
That's the moment that the eyes are closed. That's that's what I look for. Oh, in terms of capturing me in the moment, I've seen some pictures of me. I don't like the way I look.
but
I hate it.
But I mean,
and inevitably, if you take a picture of me photographing, I got like camera bags hanging off of me, and my hat's all crooked, and my shoes untied, and I hate it.
So what gets you into your mode? Like, for example, we've had guys up here who have made beats and things like that. And we're like, what gets you into that vibe where it's like, I'm locked in? What is your locked in moment? Is it the sounds that you're hearing, or what responsive sensory that you have that locks you in?
I know, like, there are times like when San Jose Jazz is a great example, because I've been photographing San Jose Jazz for 12 years as their official photographer, right? And I'll get a list from Massimo, who's the marketing director there, and I don't even know how I can be, like, sometimes I got to be 3 places at the same time, right?
Yeah.
I'll shoot 15 minutes on this stage, and I'll capture 10 minutes on this stage, and if something's not happening during those 10 minutes that I'm there, so I know when I've got that moment, like 90% of the time, and I'll register it in my head. I got that. Well, I may shoot. I mean, it's not unusual for me on a festival weekend after 3 days to come back with 14,000 images. And I will know that, okay, for, common set, I know that shot's in there. And sometimes I'm like, because I got to kind of find it.
Right.
Because I know I got that moment.
Right.
And I actually feel it. It's like, I know it.
Okay.
Like, I think musicians feel it too. They know when they've hit the right note.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I get that same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
There have been times that I thought I had it and I got back and but then what the interesting process about this book has been, there have been some shows that I've shot over the years that I thought, I didn't really get anything that day. And I've gone back to look here and editing the book and been like, why did I miss that the first time? Or, wow, there's some really good stuff here. So sometimes it takes some perspective too.
Is there any festival or artist that you haven't shot that you're like, that's on my bucket list, I have got to be there?
New Orleans and Montreux in Switzerland.
Ooh.
Artists, oh man, there's so many. It's funny, is bucket list artist for me was Herbie Hancock. And I photographed Herbie at Monterey with Chick Corea a few years ago. And Monterey, if you've ever been there, it's a great festival. Amazing festival. And there's 7 or 8 stages, and some of them are super intimate and small. But the main stage at Monterey is in this like fairgrounds. The stage itself is probably 14 feet high. And it's just really hard to shoot on the main stage there. And Herbie was playing with Chick Corea on 2 concert grand pianos, so they're like a football field apart. And there's some pictures in the book from that show, but I never felt like that was one of them where like I didn't get what I wanted. This year, San Jose Jazz in August, Herbie's on stage there with his band, and I mean, generally that means I have a lot more intimate access. So that's on my bucket list right now. I know it's coming up.
That's what's up. But
yeah, there's a lot of musicians out there I'd love to photograph.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Need you to do Jill Scott for me. That's my bucket list for you.
So would you suggest like a young photographer who has not had the connections yet, like, and how would they set up like their price structure? Is it good for them to go shoot and then show their work and try to get in to build those connections? Because your connections are over years of time.
So if you want to be a young photographer shooting music, don't think about that, how you're going to make your living. You may. If I had to rely on the income I make shooting music, I'd be hungry. I shoot music because I love to do it. I love doing it with the artists, and I'm lucky that I get paid to do it a lot of the time. I often will do it without getting paid just because I want to do it. So price structure is hard, and perceived value of photography has changed over the years, right? So the perceived value of what you used to get paid it's dropped dramatically, partially because of everybody's got it on their phone, or stock agencies are selling images for 99 cents and
Right.
things like that. So there's a serious issue, I think, in the industry right now. The industry's changed dramatically. And so I don't, the answer is I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay.
And it also really depends on the artist, the record label, if there is one, you know, how much money, what is the image going to be used for? You know, if somebody's going to, you know, wants to put it on their flyer for, you know, a Wednesday night show in their local, you know, no, I'm not going to charge them for that.
Right.
You want to put it on an album cover? Well, then let's talk.
Yeah, we got to talk.
And like, where's your budget?
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so then with the connections, how would you get it? So like, let's say, like, for example, Miss Elaine, and let's say there's a young guy or girl watching this, like, I want to get into this, but I don't know how to get into Miss Elaine's and Missy Elaine's, correct? Missy Elaine's. Okay.
Talk to people.
Okay.
You know, and don't start with artists with a national profile that other people are going to want to shoot. You know, start with the people who are just starting out, right? I mean, part of what is great for me, particularly as I get to know the artists and photograph them in sound check, sometimes photograph them in the studio, is the relationships you build with the artist, right? There's so many great photographers, and I'm thinking back to one of my original heroes and mentors, photographer named Herbie Green. And Herbie documented the Summer of Love, 1960s, Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, and all that. But he was their friend, right? He happened to be a great photographer.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was in their living room, and that's why he took that great picture and goes like against the wall or whatever it is. So photograph your friends who are musicians. Develop those relationships. And then, you know, once you have a solid body of work and feel comfortable with it, you'll get to know people. You know, if your friends are going to play Missy Lane on a Tuesday night, photograph that. They'll get to know you. If your work is good, you treat people with respect. Then you'll know the people there and say, hey, can I come on Friday night and shoot this? You know, that's how you do it.
Okay. I love that. I love that advice.
Because it is all about relationships. Like I've hauled my portfolio around for years. I mean, I don't think with the music stuff, I probably have not gotten too many jobs ever that weren't based upon who I knew and the relationships I had.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That picture right there. Can we show that one?
Which one?
I love that.
Paula West?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's another
And this
great
one.
picture. I like that picture a lot. Yeah.
These
This
guys,
one's awesome.
this is I can never say his name right, so I'm not going to even try.
That looks like a
Trevon.
painting. That's so
It does.
dope.
Well,
Like,
that he was on stage with a singer named Gregory Porter. He still plays with him. They were just here at DPAC in February. They're going to be at North Carolina Museum of Art, I think, in May.
okay.
He's a fantastic player. But yeah, again, that was just waiting for that moment. And for me, and thank you for liking both of these moments, you'll notice they're not playing.
Right.
It's that's what I mean about the silence between.
Right.
Or
Can you
this
pull up
is
the picture of the
James Carter, and there he is playing. But again, that's another one where I knew I had the moment.
That's dope.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Let me get the picture
yeah,
of the
let's
book.
go
I'm
ahead
sorry.
and share that.
Before you do that,
Okay.
this is one. I mean, the audience is there, and I think this helps give it scale. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's an example of being able to be on stage, right?
Okay.
So I'm not shooting from the front of the stage; I'm shooting from the back of the stage.
Yeah.
That's Joe Sample, who's unfortunately no longer with us, with the Jazz Crusaders, who are really important group of musicians.
That is awesome.
You know, yeah.
Let me get your book up here.
Absolutely.
Hold on a
So
second.
you can
Here's
let
the
everyone
book.
know one more time how to access it,
Sure.
how to get it, and get their hands on it. Because we had a lot of people who were enjoying your work. So now you
Well,
can
thank
have
you.
a little bit of Robert in your home.
Oh, I can show you one of my favorites.
Oh,
ahead.
yes, yes.
All right. I got two. This particular shot. That's again the silent between, and there again you need to see the piano, but if you didn't see that as a piano, you don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, that's part of why piano players are hard.
Right.
And this is in the book?
This is in the book,
Okay.
and then this one's got a story, and I'll tell you that. So this is a guy named Eddie Henderson. I took that in 2018. But when I was growing up, my dad was involved with jazz, and I grew up around the music, and I was about 13 years old. And Eddie Henderson was playing at a small little club called Bradley's. And my dad knew the owner and he knew the other musicians. And I had my camera with me. I don't know where those pictures are. And I told him I wanted to be a photographer. I guess I was 14. And he just really encouraged me and talked to me. And he had been he's trained as a psychiatrist. And he was a doctor at San Francisco General in the 70s. And he quit. He would take these long vacations to go out on tour. And finally, in the late 70s, quit to do music full time. And he's one of the great, living trumpet players in jazz. But he was telling me about that. Don't do something that somebody else tells you you think you should do and follow your passion and all that. So I got to remind him of that story in 2018. He's like, I don't remember telling you that, but I remember Bradley's. I remember your dad. He's like, it's full circle, man. Yeah. It's full circle. Yeah. So anyway.
I love this one too.
Oh, Jay Horde, great singer. And they are, they're from Shelby, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, that's a dope picture.
Yeah, that's dope.
And that's an example of the imperfections in the old lens. You can see the kind of I don't know how well you see it on the webcam, but there's a lack of contrast. There's some haziness to it. But it's not technically perfect. It may not be technically sharp, but it doesn't matter. Right. It's not.
No.
Yeah. This is another example of that lens, what it does to the background.
That's
and helps you really focus in on the piano player.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
So in terms of the book, it's Snap Collective is the publisher. It's on their website, but there's a link on my Instagram, which is RBS Photo, PHOTO. And in the bio, there's a link. It'll take you right there.
Love it.
I apologize for the shipping charges, but it's a big, heavy book. It's got to come. It's coming from Denmark.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes, it is worth it.
Yeah.
And just so we can get it on camera, so you can't say, "Oh, I didn't say that." We are also inviting Robert to be one of our speakers for Fuck Up Nights. Yeah. So for those of you in the area, April 26th, Robert is going to be one of our speakers, along with 3 other entrepreneurs, small business owners, and professionals who are going to tell their story of how they messed up in the industry, but also how they grew from it. So more information for that is on its way. And Robert, thank you so much.
I am so grateful for you guys having me here tonight.
Thank you for coming and sharing
all these amazing comments. I wish I had my glasses on to read them all, but I really, really appreciate it. Yes. And reach out to me, DM me on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Prints are available for sale. Okay. I can ship. But just even if you like the work, like I said, that's what gets me excited is sharing it.
Cool.
Well, Robert, you're a part of the TDS family, so whenever you want to come and kick it with us,
just drop in.
Happy to do that.
Just drop in. No problem. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And so stay with us. TDS Radio, our voice, our culture.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
No problem. So happy.
TDS Radio,
Make
our
sure it's with the
voice,
roadcaster.
our culture. Where did y'all go? What the hell?
Okay.
So our interview is done, and y'all just bail out on us. We still had the messy letter.
We ain't trying to hear no more of this shit.
He
Good
left
night.
He left his
Oh,
tea.
his tea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's okay.
Oh.
That picture is dope.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have the other camera.
No, okay.
But yeah, that was a dope interview.
It was. It was
Very informative. Great work. I would love to just go through his pictures and see how much he's charging for them, because he has a lot of great artists.
Yes.
And the reason why I was asking him about taking pictures is because, believe it or not, he ain't lying. The phone that I just got, the new Samsung 24 Ultra, this thing has 5 lenses in the back of it.
Yeah, it takes quality
And
photos.
literally everybody's like, if you're not using this to take photos, then what do you have the phone for? And I had started taking some photos just like of the podcast and now, like when Kia was podcasting, and he's right, you can catch things. Not something that I don't even you know what, I'm not going to speak against it. It would be something that I would be interested in learning, but I don't know about that hustle and grind that he's talking about.
Yeah, because you gotta love it.
Yeah, and I think I would, but that whole style of making connections and all that stuff, like basically you're starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, can I go to the improv and shoot your open mic night? And it's like,
yeah. I mean, but that's what
with
I
your
do.
phone, and it's like, hey, yeah,
yeah, and then be like, nigga, get out of here.
But there are attachments, and I thought about like, because this thing, you can attach an actual lens to it. I'm like, yo, man, these things are dope. We don't realize how powerful these are. We just want to shoot crazy shit with never mind.
Yeah.
I was about to say it, and I was thinking, don't go back there.
We had a really good interview. And
we had a
thank you
great
all.
interview. We have another comment.
Thank you all for your
What does that say?
questions. That's our girl.
And we appreciate you. You ride or die with us, because the rest of them niggas, they got up like it was a movie, like it was over. All right, bye. Like, Jesus Christ. We had the messy letter, but I guess we can save it.
Yeah, we can save it because we are almost.
But
at
we're
the
not
top of
going
the
to see
hour
you guys until Friday. So
you know what? Maybe we can do. Oh, but then Miss Verna's going to be here as well. Which, you know what? Somebody who be coming in here on Wednesday, you ain't slick. I know who you looking for. She's here on Friday.
So on Friday, yeah, we got that. So we'll always do the messy letter with Auntie V.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, because I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right.
Because my pay attention level will be over here.
I have.
Oh no! I put my head down. You seen the hairline?
That's not better for
Y'all
you.
see how crazy that is? Here's what messed up part. Nobody else in our family is balding. Our father wasn't bald. Mother wasn't bald. What the hell happened?
I don't know.
I think it was those football helmets. Y'all, my hairline, like I could feel the indentions.
Right.
Like it used to be here. So that would be here, straight across there. It used to be, because I remember being in class, there's a knot in my head. I used to do this when it was like my nervous thing when I was taking the test. Well, it's here. Ain't no hair there no more. What happened? It's them damn football helmets. Them football helmets, when you take them out, they used to rip your shit off. And then now look at this. And I ain't even in the pros. Nah, what the hell? Now my shit is just shiny for no reason.
All right.
Yes, the helmet, cuz
Time to go.
I was just ranting. I don't know. That shit looks wild. I promise y'all will never see that. Wow.
We have fuck up nights
It's a lot of
tomorrow, y'all.
space.
We will be doing what we do live. So we will not be here tomorrow, but no worries. We'll be here on Friday with Auntie V and Messy Letters. And depending on how much time we have, we might go ahead and do 2 back to back. So,
and tomorrow we might talk to y'all before the show starts. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go live from our phone. So we might talk to y'all for a little bit before the show starts once we get done setting up. All depends on how much our setup time goes. Because if we can get it in, because it don't start till 7, right?
Yeah.
So maybe once we get our setup done, we can just put this on the tripod and talk to y'all briefly, and then we get up out of there. We got the Bluetooth lapel microphones, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It would be with our phone. Or I can even set it up like this, because we can run StreamYard from our phone. Just to say hey to y'all, because we don't want everybody to know we streaming, because then they'll think we should do it for everybody, not just for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. You got to pay.
Please, because we got bills and
All right.
This sign
All
is
right, y'all.
that's all we got.
Good night, everybody.
TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. God willing, we will see y'all when we see y'all the next time. Peace.